What's going on, everybody? How y'all feel, man? It's another great Monday, man. I hope everybody out there is doing well. Hope y'all blessed, man. I just wanted to check in on everybody, see how everybody's doing. My name's Clarence Brown. Guys, some of y'all know me already. Some of you may not know me. So for those who don't know me, my name's Clarence Brown. You can call me relationship coach Clarence Brown. You can call me Coach C. You can just call me C, however you want to do it. I am a certified relationship and dating coach. My job is I help women and I help men navigate that space of communication and understanding and bridge that gap and ultimately help you improve your dating experiences. So today I had some stuff on my mind, man, having some conversation with some women, and basically I thought I was inspired to do this topic on are men designed to be cheaters? Right. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because there's so many women that just believe that all men cheat. What's going on? It's just me. What's happening? Instagram. Listen, we streaming right now, both Instagram and Facebook. So Facebook, all y'all out there that's locked in right now, man. Appreciate y'all. And so wanted to get right into it, man. And what I want to talk about when it comes to men cheating is the question of, are men designed to cheat? I was having this discussion, just me and a couple friends, couple friend girls, people that I'm close to. And, you know, it's really hard trying to convince a certain person who's been through certain experiences not to believe what they believe. So I give that analogy because Pastor Dozier, my co-host on my podcast, oftentimes talks about, hey, if you've been in an accident, a car accident, and, you know, a person is rushing you to get in your car and get going, they can't tell you not to put on a seatbelt. There's nothing that they can do to make you feel like it will be wise for you to not put on a seatbelt. And it's not because you couldn't get to where you were trying to go safely, but the bottom line point is you've been through so much, and you've been through a traumatic situation, so now you just move differently, right? And so the same thing can be said about how a lot of women think about dating, meaning there's so many women that have gone through situations that now it's almost like you can't tell them anything good about a man. You can't tell them that, hey, you know, a man is not going to cheat on you, that there's certain things that you can do as a woman that, you know, even women can hold other women accountable and say, hey, you know, as long as you handling your business, you're going to decrease your chances of having somebody step out on you or, you know, seek to have some other relationship outside of your own. And ultimately, it's just, you know, trying to get women to understand more about men. And even as a man, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it's tough as a relationship coach, you know, speaking to women and speaking, should I say, against some of the traumas and some of the issues that they may felt that they've gone through. It's an uphill battle because in their minds, it's like, I don't see how, you know, you can tell me anything different, Clarence, from what I've been through. Right. So from a certain standpoint, I can understand that because, as I said, you know, when a person has gone through something or been through something that was so serious that affected now their movements from that point on, you know, it's very hard to get them or convince them to think otherwise of how they feeling. Right. So I wanted to talk about this topic to help women to understand men a little bit better. And guys, I hope I represent us well. So if you're a man out there watching right now, man, you know, you can tap in right now and just, you know, drop a thumbs up, thumbs down, a cash or trash sign, however you feel about what I'm saying, and let me know how you feel about it, because I hope, you know, I'm explaining it to the best of my ability to help represent us well as men. So getting right into it, the question, are all men designed to be cheaters? All right. Just right off the bat, plain and simple, the answer to this question is no. All right. And I think a lot of women already know that. But oftentimes, like I said, when speaking about these type of things, it's hard to convince women otherwise when they might have gone through certain situations. I know it's certain women out there that might feel like, hey, Clarence, every situation, every relationship I've been through, I had a man cheat on me. I had somebody step out on me. It just seemed to be a reoccurring discrepancy or offense that seems to just happen repeatedly. So now, when I'm breaking this down, I hope that to break this down in more clarity, when I say no, the answer is no. Are all men designed to be cheaters? But it's a progression is the caveat to this, right? And so what I think a lot of women want to really hear about is, what is this progression? What are you talking about, Clarence? And so, fellas, y'all let me know, like I said, how y'all feel about it. But I'm going to break it down just as best as I can from my standpoint and from how I see things as a man and as a relationship coach as well. Now, in my mind, this is just off experience. I feel like we as men go through stages. All right. So what I mean by that is, just as any human being, you're going to think differently, 10 years from now as you think today, and you think differently today than you think 10 years prior to this date. Right. And so all that being said, it's a process, it's a progression in how you think, how you move. So when it comes to men, it's a process and it's a progression when it comes to a man, whether he decides to cheat or what motivates him to remain faithful. And so the reason why I say that is because I believe that we as men go through 3 stages of dating. All right. And I talked about this before, and I'm going to cover this right now just to kind of give some context to why I believe as a man that all men, or just men in general, for the greater majority of us, are not designed to be cheaters. All right. A lot of women out there think otherwise. Like I said, make my best case right here. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But no, I believe all men are not designed to be cheaters. But here's the progression, because as I said before, there are 3 stages that men go through when it comes to dating. Now, we're going to exclude the ones who are socially awkward. We're going to exclude those men who, are just kind of reserved or not even pursuing of a woman, that don't even strive to try to be in relationships, but just kind of let things come to them, but not really pursue in a general sense. Right. So we have to exclude those men out of the equation when I say this. Right. And the reason why I'm doing that is because what we focusing on is the men. What's going on? Let me see. Who was that? I hope I say this right. Just J Moss, songwriter. Shout out to you, locked in right now. Let me get back into it. So the stages that us as men that, pretty much go out and compete in the world and go out and pursue women on a daily basis or weekly basis, whatever the case may be, that don't have any problem that with communicating with women or coming in contact and connecting with women. These are the men I'm talking about, right? So when we talking about these men, there are 3 stages that we most often go through, right? And that is the dog stage, the player stage, and the settle down stage, right? So I'm gonna say that again: the dog stage, the player stage, the settle down stage, right? Now, the problem that I think a lot of women have is that you believe, hey, I'm ready for somebody to settle down. I'm not looking for a dog or a player, right? But the problem is a lot of women believe that based on a man's age, he should be at a certain stage, right? So what as a man I recognize is that maturity is not based on age. It's just based on your experiences and how you perceive and respond to those experiences, right? But with all that being said, so now you understand that, okay, well, when you're at a certain stage, you think a certain way no matter what age you are, right? And so here's the thing. And a lot of women say, hey, well, you too old to be this. You too old to think like that. Well, it just is what it is. It's about his experiences and how he perceives and responds to those experiences that may make him think however he thinks, right? So now we talk about the dog stage. What that is that's the stage where a man really is trying to get his feet wet, number one. He's really trying to just, get notches on his belt. And that's really all he's trying to do, because he's in his mind just not caring about anything other than servicing himself, right? So we recognize a dog as men because we can see, it's some of our partners, some of our closest road dogs that we know. We wouldn't trust our sisters, our daughter, our aunts, our nieces. If we even heard they was having a conversation with them, we would be like, what you was doing over there talking to Steve? No, you leave him alone, right? You know what I mean? We listen, fellas, we done been there before, right? Where it's not to say we got any beef with our friends or people that are in our circle, but we know what they stand for. We know what they're about. And so when it comes to people that we call family or loved ones or people that's close to us, if they're a woman, we not listen. Hey, let's stay away from him. Just anybody else, I'm not saying I'm letting you go off and do whatever, but at the same time, just leave that one alone. You don't even need to go that direction, right? And we know that, right? And that's because as a man, we recognize that when you're in that dog stage, you care about nothing less than just getting off. You care nothing about nothing else but just servicing yourself. It's just all about, hey, what can I get out of this interaction? What can I get from this deal? And for the most part, my mentality is all sexual. It's all physical. And so, I make mention of this in my high quality man versus low quality man checklist that's on my website. Is free, by the way. And I make mention of how certain men speak, what questions they ask, what statements they make, what things that tip you off as to what their mentality is and what their motives are, right? So I give you that in my checklist. You can go to my website, relationshiphealing.co. I put that up. Let me put that up right now. But you can grab that before I move on so we can talk about this, these stages. As men, we all go through it. It is what it is, But at the same time, that stage right there, I think it should be easier for women to be able to identify what this guy's motives is, because it's not going to be too long. He's going to wait before he gets impatient and say, you know what, I got to move on to the next. This ain't really materializing like I need it to. So my mentality is, if you ain't going to give me what I want, okay, cool. And some of them be F you then and this, hey, I'm gone, right? And so that is the mentality of a man who is in the stage of being a dog, right? And so that's one of the first three stages. The second stage is the player stage, right? As I made mention, these three stages we as men go through, and I'm not talking about just all men in general, but what I am speaking to is the man who has no problem communicating, speaking to a woman, interacting with a woman, a man who has no problem garnering a woman's attention. Maybe he's attractive, all of these things. So he really doesn't have any problems to like I say, come in contact and intermingle, right? So some of the guys that's not on that, that's kind of just, hey, and it could be, like I say, a social awkward thing, or it could be just, hey, listen, I'm kind of just going through the motions and letting life come to me. A lot of the times these are not the men that are making contact with women on a daily basis and in a pursuit to kind of get somewhere, right? So the player stage, was the second stage, is basically where a guy, yes, in his mind, is still a selfish mindset. It's still what can I get for me? But what happens in this stage is that this stage is where most of the times you can't decipher where he is and what his true motive is, because he can be single or he could be in a relationship, right? So he could be on the single tip saying, hey, listen, I'm kicking it. I'm doing my thing. I'm not really looking for nothing. But at the same time, like, we can kick it like we're dating. But at the same time, don't catch no feelings. The moment you do, I'm going to reiterate what I stated initially, which was, I'm not looking for nothing. But yet, if you're going to give me some sex, I'm not going to turn that down. You're going to cook for me, I'm not going to turn that down. You're going to give me some money on the low, I'm not going to turn that down. You're going to do a favor for me, I'm not going to turn that down. But at the end of the day, we're not together. So it's confusing, and it's harder to differentiate this man from, like I said, the dog stage or even the settle down stage. Because even in the settle down stage, this is where a lot of women feel like, oh, this is where y'all men ain't SHIT right here, because I'm thinking you ready to settle down, only to figure out you still in your player stage. Right. So here's the thing. When it comes to I'm gonna do a topic on this when it comes to why men cheat, why they're happy. If a man is happy, why does he cheat? I'm gonna talk about that also coming into this next week, because I want to really break down what's going inside a man's mind to make him do what he does and just kind of give some game on that. But when it comes, like I said, going to the player stage, the player stage is where, again, most of the time a man is looking for how he can best benefit from each woman that he comes in contact with, until he decides to settle down, or he feels like he's found the woman that's going to give him what he feels is necessary to satisfy him. Now, I say all of that to say, I'm not speaking about what's right. I'm not speaking about what's wrong. I'm just speaking about what's real, and hopefully giving y'all some value and understanding men more clearly and what's going through his mind. All right. So I know it's not right. I'm not saying it's like, hey, well, just what we do. Y'all did listen. I'm just saying this is what it is for the ladies that don't understand it. Right. And then also for the guys to just break down like, hey, listen, this is what it is. I hope you can listen to Clarence and get some clarity on it so you can understand us a little bit more in depth. Right. So that player stage is where his mentality is, for the most part, to just get as much benefit until he figures out where he wants to rest his head, where he wants to lay his head. And so in this stage, he is still in a cheater's mentality. On the dog stage, he is in a cheater's mentality. So when he comes down to this third stage, which is the settle down stage, this is where women would like to have every man they come in contact with be on this tip, be on this mentality, be on this wave, right? And so when I said earlier, no, men are not all designed to be cheaters, but it's a progression. There's a reason being is because in these stages, you're looking for a couple things, which I'm going to get to in just a second. But the settle down stage is where a man really says, hey, listen, I've done all I can do. I've been all the places I want to be. Now, at this point, I'm looking for something tangible, something that's going to be, that's going to pour into my life. That's going to be actually a benefit and a surplus to what I have going on and provide more stability for me mentally and peacefully. So at this point, this is where a man says, you know what, like, I'm cool. Like, and it's funny how, Chris Rock, he even did a stand-up where he said, hey, a man is only as faithful as his options. Well, the point is a man is not designed to be a cheater, but there can be instances within the relationship where people get comfortable, where people start to disregard one another's feelings and whatever they got going on, whatever they feel like they want to change or whatever they desire out of a relationship, it becomes not important to the other person. And so, or they're just not being heard by their partner. All of these things can make a person who is, especially a man who is in that settle down stage, feel like, hey, what am I getting out of this agreement if I'm doing all I can to remain faithful, which is, in my opinion, harder for a man, because a man most of the time doesn't come in contact with sex just easily as a woman can. She can say yay or nay at any point and have sex today, tomorrow, it don't matter. But still, when he feels like he's doing all he can do, there are things that can provoke him, can make him feel as if, you know what, like this may not be the place that I really want to be, right? And so just real quick, I'm going to get right into why that is, why it's a progression, why it is that certain men go through these stages when it comes to the dog stage, the player stage, the settle down stage, and the reason behind that. But real quick, let me get into one of these comments, man, because I got some folks showing love on Instagram right now. And if y'all on Facebook, man, hit that comment section. Let me know if y'all feel what I'm talking about. If y'all think that what I'm saying is good ground to sow. If it, you know what I mean? If it's trash, let me know. You know what I mean? Just contest that, and we can go from there. Let me see. So J Moss Songwriter says, I pretty much always wanted a relationship with a woman, not just sex, but most women seem to only be attracted to the guys who are thugs, guys who only interested in sex. That's what the folks are saying out here. Come on, Facebook, Instagram. If y'all don't feel that, let me know. Let me see. It's Just Mimi said, the player stage is confusing because men will catch feelings in this stage and still say he doesn't want a relationship. That's a good point. All right, we can talk about that. Let me see. Just My Songwriter also says, I've always been in the settle down stage, but most women are interested in dogs and players. Now I'm gonna just say something, J My Songwriter. That might be something about your personality, honestly. And I'm not trying to cast no aspersions on you or label you in a certain type of way. But if you feel like, hey, they just come looking for guys that want this or that, it may be that. I'm not saying it's not. But at the same time, it could be, something about, the way that you come off that may not hold their attention. I'm going to just say that respectfully. Right. You can DM me. We can go back and forth. We can see how that work out. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, if that just seems to be the But I did want to say something on why It's Just Mimi says the player stage is confusing because men will catch feelings in this stage and still say he doesn't want a relationship. Now, in the player stage, like I said, it could be one or the other because a player could be single and a player could be in a relationship. So there's some players that's in a relationship that's still out here like, man, you know what? This is good over here. I got this part secure, but I still got an itch that I need to get scratched, over here as well. So I don't know, right? So, it's not to say that the men that are in the player stage don't want a relationship, although there are. And I've seen that where a man may catch feelings and then still be like, man, but at the same time, like, I ain't really trying to be locked down like that, but I don't want to lose you though. Y'all done heard that line. Brunette Izari. So what's going on? She's on Facebook. She says, not for me. I'm looking for a man who's looking to be settled and invested in me. I hear that. Everybody on Facebook. Y'all see brunette showing love, no doubt. So, of course, women, y'all want a man who's in that settle down stage. Listen, that's not uncommon. Of course, as a relationship coach, just one of the things that, I hear a lot, because of course, women are like, hey, I'm not trying to play around. I'm not trying to waste my years, you name it, so on and so forth. But here's the thing, right? Here's the problem. Here's the reason. Here is the real backstory behind the curtain. Clarence gonna pull back the curtain and expose somebody's ribs to really show y'all the X-ray of what's inside of the mentality behind why it's a progression for certain men to refrain from stepping out or feeling like it may be better options on the open market, even when they're in a relationship, right? And I think the dog stage and player stage, the reason why those stages are relevant in any way is because of these things I'm going to mention to you right now. There's three things. And I need y'all real quick before I mention these three things to hit that like button. If you're on Facebook, man, please share this so I can get more engagement on this. And if you're on Facebook, man, or if you're on Instagram, you can hit that share button. Share this to a friend, family member, or somebody that you feel like can get something out of this, right? Now, here's the thing. Again, it's a progression. Are men designed to be cheaters? Absolutely not. It's a progression. We go through stages. What's on our mind at a certain stage. It don't matter if we, 18, 19, 17, or 21, 27, 25. It don't matter, right? It just depends on where we are mentally and the experiences we going through, how we respond to those things, and how we perceive those things. Now, here's the problem. The problem is men and women have three major desires, and we talking about men today. Three major desires that conflict with having a healthy relationship. All right. Now, those three things, we're going to chop it up because, again, this progression, women just feel like, hey, listen, I'm tired of men being in this stage, that stage. I don't need that. Well, this should at least be able to open your eyes to be able to decipher who you're dealing with sooner, if not, just at all. Right. Because some women just don't at all. Right. So the three reasons and the three problems of the major desires that men have when it comes to why they are in the stages of dog stage, player stage, before they get to the settle down stage and say, you know what, I'm done with all these three things that Clarence talking about. I'm good and I had it all. Whew, now I'm ready to, I'm looking for something real. Which listen, I got married at 26. I got engaged. I think it was 24. Okay. So I pretty much in my mind, I was like, okay, I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I need to take me to the next level. I know what I need as far as a support system. So I made a move quicker than most men. But these three things are what hinder us and weigh on our mind to where we say, you know what, man, before I make this move, I got to be sure. So the first thing is status. Why is a man in the dog stage, player stage, before he decides to settle down? One of the three things before you decide to settle down is one of the three things is status. Especially as a young man or just a young man when it comes to maturity, right? And like I say, fellas, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Now, I ain't going to say it's all men, so there's some fellas out there that feel like I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm going to do my thing, right? So the first of the three things is status. What that means is being catapulted to the top of all respected men, all right? Men are respected by other men, especially as an adult, by their ability to make money, all right, by their ability to attract women, by their ability to compete physically, all right, and by their ability to take care of their loved ones, right? So those four things. But when it comes to status, especially while a man is in that dog stage, player stage, the reason why that is because he wants to be catapulted to the ranks or higher ranks and respect from other men that are around him. So if it means that, hey, listen, you know what? Hey, I was just with one today. I got one on the line. I'm hitting up them, a little bit later. I got one on the, you know what I mean? In his mind and in his circle, these things give him and garner him more points and more respect. So when it comes to, in his mind, what he feels like will garner that respect, a part of that is his ability to attract women. As I said before, four things that men feel like other men respect is: one, their ability to make money; two, their ability to attract women; three, their ability to compete physically; and for their ability to take care of their loved ones, right? So now when it comes to being catapulted in this man's mind, he's like, hey man, listen, among guys that I respect and love, I want to be respected among those men. And one of those ways is for me to be a guy who is an attractor of women. So in that mentality, of course, in his mind, he wants to remain top dog. He wants to be looked at as a guy of high regard and high respect by his peers. And if he feels like, hey, I've always been a guy who's, been good with the ladies, or been, smooth with the ladies, or been able to garner their attention easily, then okay, you know what I mean? I want to keep that title. I want to keep that name, even if I'm in a relationship, even if I have a wife and kids or whatever. At the same time, I want my peers to know, hey, if ever I want to step out, if ever I want something on the side, if ever I need a little son, it ain't nothing for me to just step down on the chick and be able to get her attention, because that's how I always have done, right? So that's one of the three things that you have men that will be in that dog stage or player stage, even especially like I said, that player stage, confusing stage, where they can be either single or in a relationship. You know what? A lot of that has to do with holding his status among his peers and people that respect him for being able to attract women easily. You dig what I'm saying? So that's one of the things. And number two, and it's kind of tying into the first, is recognition. Right? So when it comes to a man being designed to be a cheater, I told y'all no, that's not the case. There are men that are very much faithful, keep their feet on the straight and narrow path, and that's just how they move, right? But at the same time, for the majority of women, the perception is that a man is always going to cheat on you, and that all men are cheaters for the most part, right? And so as a man, I'm just trying to give y'all some clarity, some game, and some value to hopefully help you understand us a lot more differently, to understand what it is that's in our mind that make us move the way we move. And so when we're talking about the reason for a man being in a progression of dating when it comes to what he values and what he sees, then okay, of course he's going to be in a stage as a dog where he's just looking like, man, I gotta, I don't want to be out here left in the cold. I want to experience some of the things intimately, physically, sexually that other men are feeling. So I want to check that out. I want to see what this is about. I want to see what that's about. He get in the player stage and he say, hey, listen, that's all cool. I want to be able to hold on to some of those benefits that I have from certain women that I'm come in contact with. And at the same time, I want to make sure that before I do settle down, it's with the right one, or with the one who has the most benefits for me, or provides the most support, peace, and, beneficial lifestyle for me. Right. But again, at the core of all of that is the three things that makes a man stay in these stages. And that's status, number one, which I just spoke about. Number two is recognition. That means being viewed as an asset. All right, being viewed as somebody important by your peers, by your family, and the world at large. Right. So, and like I said, there's a mentality of, it doesn't matter if a man is 48 years old, 50 years old. He could be 19 years old. He could be, 100. It don't matter. The point though is that with him desiring to be recognized or viewed as somebody important or somebody as an asset, a lot of the times having somebody who's beautiful next to you, or being able to have somebody one day and someone else the next, is a powerful thing for certain men that feel like, hey, listen, this recognition that I get for this, man, you know what? It's just like in Paid in Full, man. I could lead a game, you did, but would they still love me? Would a chick still love me? Would a women out here still, look at me the same if I lead a game, right? You remember the line, if y'all back, it's a hood classic. You Paid in Full, if y'all know, right? But in that line, Mitch was basically saying to Ace, he was like, hey, listen, you know what? I can step away from this, but what do I gain from it, right? So let me see. It's just Mimi said, that sounds exactly like the person I'm dating. That status feeds his ego. All I'm saying is, listen, I hope y'all gaining something from this. If y'all think that this is something that doesn't make any sense, please let me know. If it's something that you've never seen or heard about, or you just feel like, hey man, this don't really, I don't really think that this is something that's happening right now, Clarence, let me know. But as y'all see, Just Mimi said, you know what, that's maybe something that you're experiencing right now. And like I said, this is just an explanation as to what's happening so that you can understand it more better and address it if need be. All right, so recognition is number two. Being viewed as an asset, being viewed as somebody important from your peers, somebody that that's important from your family or just the world at large. You want to be viewed as somebody with high acclaim, right? So these things are the fuel that makes a man say, man, hey, listen, I'm still out here for right now. It's all good, right? And when I settle down, I settle down. But when I get to that bridge, then I'll cross it. And the last of the three things is self-appreciation. All right, self-appreciation is one of the three keys as far as the motives why a man decides not to settle down and why he remains a dog or a player in those progressive stages where, yes, he's more likely to cheat while he's in those stages, but that doesn't mean men are designed to cheat, right? So self-appreciation, let me see. Hope I say this right. Ayana Banana Jamaica. I'm not laughing at the name, but boy, y'all make it hard on me, man. I just be hoping I show love right and say the name right. So I hope it's Ayana Banana Jamaica. It's all one word. Say men who cheat and lie, and then when the woman has issue with trust, she becomes the problem. That's true. That's true. I can't say. Listen, you got me there. Right, so hit that like button if you're on Facebook. Hit that share button, or let me get some hearts or something. Let me know if this is some good information that y'all appreciate. I need to know because I want to know if I need to make more content like this to explain more or to be able to give some reason. Because again, there's not many, especially men. I know some men are like, "Man, you selling out right now," but like I say, I'm just trying to hold us down. And like I said, if you're a man out there, man, y'all can let me know how y'all feel right now. I'm open to everybody when it comes to response and reaction. But again, we're going to get right into it. So the three things as fuel, the motivation, why men not settling down. One is status. Number two is recognition. Number three is self-appreciation. And what does that mean? If y'all asking Clarence, what are you talking about, Clarence? Self-appreciation is when you say, hey, it's that internal voice. It's an internal voice in a man's mind that says, I deserve nothing less than this, right? So in his mind, and women, y'all had this complex too. Now, some women like, listen, y'all ladies, y'all know y'all might have some close friend girls that y'all like, girl, you need to kind of lower your standard a little bit. Like, maybe you'll find somebody if you just kind of lower your expectation. They like, no, and you like, oh, okay, what you do you. But y'all know, so self-appreciation says in a man's mind that I deserve nothing less than this. All right, she gotta. That's my son right there. He say he's gotta get this. I was at this stage in my life before I met my wife where I said, hey, listen, I deserve nothing less than a chick with a big booty. That's what I like. That's what I want. That's what I'm going for. If you ain't got it, hey, listen, shallow, so be it. Hey, you know what? Shallow, whatever you want to call me. It is okay. I'll accept that title, but at least you can see my line in the sand to at least know where I stand. You dig what I'm saying? That's a good one. You need to see the line in the sand and know where they stand. Period. And I was showing you my line, and that's where in my mind I'm like, listen, I deserve nothing less than this. Right or wrong, whatever it may be, right? Let me see. Brunette Rosario, she says, yes, we get called out our name for calling out cheaters. It happens. Let me see. She also says, I really also think men don't settle down since we as women don't hold them to the fire. We settle at times just for companionship. That's a dicey issue because depending on that person's history, I wouldn't always recommend that you just say, hey, you know what, you did this, I'm gone, because you never know how that person may respond to that. And if they did see value in the relationship, you never know. People do, take second chances and do the most with it. So I think sometimes we do have that zero tolerance policy that at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that person doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that person isn't actually going to shape up and do what's right by you. It's just that you got to give them a chance, and sometimes I know it depends. It's a what they say case by case basis, because depending on the person's history, or if this is the first offense, this is the first discrepancy, things like that. I think you got to really take a closer look at it before you just say right. That's just me. Let me see, and I didn't have your name, Facebook user, but I hope I'm showing love to whoever you are. It says, explain why men say they want a specific kind of woman, but gravitate and show so much attention to a totally different kind. Well, watch what he does, not what he says. That's simple. I mean, that's just like anything else. Like if I had a dog, it's funny because my road dogs, they know me. It's funny because sometimes they don't talk to me about certain things because they know I'm gonna be like, man, nigga, are you lying? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what? I was just going through this and I'm just doing it like this now. And I'm like, man, nigga, stop lying. He be like, what you mean I'm lying? I be like, you lying because you lying. Like, I mean, bro, you my dog, so I'm gonna still have love for you, but at least keep it 1,000 with your boy. Like, keep it real with me. Like, tell me what's really going on, and not just try to game me, like like you may game some other people. So go by what they do, what they look for, how their actions are, and believe half of what you hear. Period. That's simple. And the point is that regardless of what they say about how you perceive their actions, you know better by how they move when what they do. So it's not like, they can be mad and but at the same time, they probably gonna have to figure out either try to do their dirt a lot more smoothly and cleverly, or they just gonna have to shape up because they know that they ain't gonna get it by you, right? So let me see. So boom, what does all of this mean, right? This is all of this, everything I said was introduction, all to lead us to this point, right? Men in the first one or two stages, was that the dog stage and that's the player stage, are twice as likely to cheat because they haven't satisfied those three major desires, right? And so with everything that I said, I'm gonna wrap this right on up just to say that men are not designed to cheat, but they have desires, especially as a man, before they settle down, that hinders them from settling down because they have not satisfied those desires yet. So if that makes sense to you, then again, if a man is still looking for status among his friends, his peers, his family members, or just, he wants that recognition from those friends, those peers, those family members, and just feels like, hey, I always want to be remembered a certain type of way. I always want to be looked at as that guy who was, a smooth criminal that was out here that, was always making moves on the up and up. Then he is going to be likely to cheat because his mentality is such. And this is something that he's not going to admit. I wouldn't. I'm just gonna be real with you. Keep it, like I say, I'm gonna keep it real with you, just like I would want you to keep it real with me. That's why I say, hey, if what I'm saying, if it's not something that you feel like is right or if it's accurate, then let your boy know, because if it was me, I'd let you know. And so to me, these three desires of having status, there's some men that say, hey, listen, I always want to be known as that person that's always able to mix and mingle with the opposite sex and be able to connect with different women and have my choice of who I want to be with at any given time. Now, because I choose to have a lady and a kid doesn't mean that I don't feel that I need to give up the desire to at least show that I could if I want to, right? And that sense of, do I still have it? There's some guys that, that want to test that sense of, do I still have it? Why? Because I want to know if I still have and hold that same status as I once held. Is my game outdated? Is my mouthpiece not working like it once did? I need to, and it all comes from because he feels like, hey, I still want to know if I still got that status, if I'm still recognized as that guy, right? And then thirdly is that self-appreciation that says, hey, I deserve nothing less than this. So even if I have something secure, I still feel like I deserve to be able to, Like, why shouldn't I? It's out there. They coming at me and they calling me. They texting my phone. What am I supposed to do, Clarence? And I'll be like, bro, really? She texted me. Well, she kept calling me. So, if she didn't call me, I was like, hey, I'm done with that anyway. Cause I just be like, man, bro, just keep it real with your boy, man. You wanted to. Just say that, Like, anyway. Let's see. It says sometimes, and this is Facebook user. Y'all see it says Facebook user. If y'all don't get your name, then it won't let me know who you are, so I can be able to say your tag or whatever. So forgive me if this is your comment right now that I'm about to read, but it doesn't say who you are. Right. So it says sometimes it's not like that. If your woman is not taking interest in you, then you have to have your needs met as well. See, and I'm like that because I agree. Which is why, like I said, I want to do a topic on why men cheat if they're happy, quote unquote. Because the women in these relationships and these marriages feel like oh, well, if I'm doing everything right, see, that's that tag statement. If I'm doing everything right, then why would he want to cheat? If I'm giving him everything that he wants, you see what I'm saying? And I think that there's a disconnect there, which is why I said earlier, what my job is to help bridge that gap of communication and understanding. All right, I have my book. If you want to grab that, it's on relationshiphealing.co as well. It's titled Come and Talk to Me, The Women's Guide to Why Men Don't Communicate. Let me go ahead and grab one of these copies because I always do my shameless plug. This is the cover of it. Y'all might have seen it before. All right. Come and Talk to Me, The Women's Guide to Why Men Don't Communicate. This is going to break down, ladies, why y'all meet a man's representative, what's holding the man back from being open and honest about who he is. Like, I'm just trying to do things that's going to help, like I said, both sides, like bridge that gap of communication. Because especially in our community, there's too many things that separate us and not too many things that's bringing us back together. Love Queen, I see you out there, man. You're always showing love. One of my supporters, man, always staying down. I always see your tag, whether it be in my story or comments and things like that. So I just wanted to show love to you. I see you out there. Let me see. It's Just Mimi said, oh my God, you are dropping knowledge. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to do a little bit. Let me see. Ayana Banana Jamaica says, it's sad that men expect women to be loyal always, but they should get a pass. Okay, Ayana. Okay. Whew. Thank you. See, I'm trying. It ain't my fault. Listen, I'm just trying to read it as I see it. So Ayana, what she was saying is that it's sad that men expect women to be loyal always, but they should get a pass. I'm not saying a man should get a pass. I am saying that depending on a man's history, you should definitely take a close evaluation on if it's something that should end just because he stepped out. Like there's a lot of minutia, there's a lot of details that need to be worked out, and also you need to check his temperature and see his mannerisms, see his body language. Is he really contrite? Is he really apologetic? Is he really trying to make it better, or is it just lip service? Because like I said earlier to one of our viewers and supporters, I said, hey, you got to pay attention to what he does, not what he says, right? And so with all of that being said, as I said, as a man, if we don't satisfy these three desires of status, recognition, or self-appreciation, and even like one of the comments was saying, this self-appreciation goes to one of the comments that one of the Facebook users is saying, like, sometimes it's not like that. If your woman is not taking interest in you, then you have to have your needs met. Your needs met as well, right? So that self-appreciation kind of talks to that. When, like I said, it's to say I deserve no less than this, right? Now, when the mentality of a man in a relationship is just like he's saying, where, hey, if my needs are not met, like I deserve no less than my needs being met. Like I'm important as well, or at least I should be. The person I'm in a relationship should value how I feel as well. So why should I feel that I'm just supposed to sacrifice my happiness to always be in a mission to make somebody else happy? Like that's draining, and nobody ain't pouring into me. I'm just pouring into somebody else's cup from my cup, and I'm not gonna have anything left. So I recognize that. Like I said, I'm gonna do a topic on why men cheat if they're happy. Because a lot of women don't feel like, hey, a man is happy. I do this, I do that. And it's like, have you really spoke to him? Or is this just your assumption just because you feel like, hey, this is all you should want? Like, hey, this is all I'm giving you. And hey, this is what I got. So, you know what I mean? So that's like I said, that goes back to those three motivations. And so when it comes to a man's mentality, if he hasn't satisfied these motivations, you're going to be able to see it in how he speaks, what he says, how he moves. And all of these things are very important because a person can't hide for too long. A person can only hide behind a mask, but for so long before they have to take it off and be like, man, whew. They might put it back on, but believe what you see, not what you hear. So when they take that off and you see them expose themselves, when they put that mask back on, don't believe that the mask is the true them, right? And that goes on both ways, all right? So I just wanted to drop that because here's the thing. I know some women out there that say, hey, how am I supposed to know if a man is really in these stages? What am I supposed to do to be able to decipher who I'm dealing with? And especially in a quicker amount of time than I've been doing it, so I can save some time. right? And so what I did is I put a course together for y'all. It's called Attract a Quality Man in 30 Days. All right. So you can grab that course on my website, relationshiphealing.co. And that's right now, it's only for $24.99, right? Now, it's only $24.99 until June 1st, because this is something that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into to help bridge that gap, like I said, of communication and understanding, and ultimately help bring my people back together. Because most of the times, you know, that 20, 30-year relationship that we talk about grandmama and granddaddy having, like how many times, you know, granddaddy might have cut somebody out and grandmama just be like, hey, listen, that's just how Cletus is. Like, y'all know how he get when y'all go messing with his stuff. Y'all know how he get, right? She just understood him. They've been together so long that certain things, you know, when they cling together, when they cleave together, that just means that, hey, regardless of the faults that you have and the faults I have, I'm becoming one with you, right? And so that means that I just understand this is how he is or this is how she is, and I'm okay with the flaws that they have because we done become one right now. And it takes time to have that happen. You know what I mean? I think about my marriage right now, and I was talking to my wife the other day. I was like, man, the place that we're at right now is an awesome place, but it took time to get to this, right? And so for a lot of people, it doesn't happen overnight, but I hope to be able to contribute something to the table to say, hey, this is what I offer to help y'all to be able to have better success in relationships. And so for the women out there that are looking for a quality man, that are, you know, deciding to continue to date, but just don't want to deal with the fluff or, you know, are tired of being fooled or manipulated. Well, as a man, listen, I've spoken to over 200 men in the year 2020. The reason why I did that is to gain information and to make this course from men's, you know, how they say, get it from the horse's mouth. Because if you want to understand men, to be able to attract a man, you're going to need to hear from a man who has knowledge from men and knows what I'm talking about. And so, like I said, my goal is just that. So attract a quality man in 30 days. You can grab that on my website, relationshiphealing.co. Chop that M off. It's not .com. It's not .com. No, it's not. It's not .com. It's .co. All right. So I got it pinned there on Instagram. I'm gonna put that in right here on Facebook. So if anything, even if you don't grab the course, go ahead and grab that high quality man versus low quality man checklist. So for us fellas out there, we need something to be able to show y'all ladies that every man ain't the same. So stop labeling us all the same and putting us in the same box. And for the women out there, it's to help you to be able to understand how men operate, you know, when it comes to being able to audit a man and be able to say, okay, well, based upon these things, you don't seem like you a quality guy. Like, you keep asking me about my car. You can ask me what I got in my purse and how much money I got in my little clutch. Like, what you on? Right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be able to identify those things because the checklist is going to help you to audit and identify if the guy that you're dealing with has the qualities of a high quality man. All right. So that's free. That's on my website as well. If nothing else, just check out the website, man. There's a lot of great things on there for y'all, from, like I said, the course to the checklist to my book. You can grab this. It's only for the ebook. It's only $9.99, or you can grab the autograph signed hard copy for $14.99. And that's what we're doing right now. So let me see. Just talk to him and get the real word. I appreciate it. So, man, I'm out, man. I'm not going to hold y'all too long, man. I just wanted to, like I say, check in and just drop in and drop that piece and get on out your way. So everybody that show love and support, man, and hit that comment section today, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all showing love. And catch this replay and share it with somebody, man. Again, are men designed to be cheaters? Catch that replay and y'all can get some insight, get some clarity on it. I'm out. It's Clarence Brown. Coach Clarence, relationship coach Clarence Brown, whatever rolls off your tongue better, it's all good with me. I'm gonna see y'all again. Now remember, tomorrow, Tuesday night, we're gonna be chopping it up on the topic: do women want instant commitment? Do women want instant commitment? Because what I see from a lot of women is the answer is watch the show. Watch the show tomorrow night. It's 8 p.m. It's going to be streaming on Facebook Live. That's Relationship Healing on Facebook. And you can go to the Male Translations Podcast on YouTube, and we'll chop it up there. So I'll see y'all there. I'll see y'all then. Holla, be blessed, and I'll check back in. All right? Peace.